Easy Bend Racer's brake is the most effective and affordable brake on the market for bending aluminum and steel for race car bodies and other applications. But before we demonstrate the incredible flexibility of the Easy Bend brake, let's look at some of its unique features. The clamp bar on the brake is fully reversible with a sharp edge on one side for straight line bends and a rounded edge on the other for radius bends. Most other brakes on the market have a pivoting clamp bar which applies pressure to the material only on the leading edge, making it difficult to prevent slippage. On the Easy Bend, both sides of the clamp bar apply pressure to the material, providing over 45 inches of total clamp surface on a 6-foot brake. The stress bar on the top of the unit allows you to adjust the clamp bar pressure in the middle of the clamp surface. This is important to ensure even pressure across the clamp bar. The clamp bar itself is connected to the arms of the brake by adjustable Heim joints. With little effort, these joints allow you to raise and lower the bar to control the clamp pressure on the material. The guides for the clamp bar are also adjustable with quarter-inch forward and backward motion. These adjustments control the sharpness of the bend and are critical for radius bending. The bend bar also has several adjustments. The stress bar on the front of the unit adjusts the middle of the bend bar in and out, allowing you to achieve a consistent gap across the entire bending surface between the bend and clamp bars. The bottom stress bar adjusts the middle of the bend bar up and down, again allowing for precise adjustment and consistency. Finally, the stress bar, located on the main bed, is used to level the bed from end to end. A level bed is critical to creating a precise, straight-line bend. It is important to note that the Easy Bend Racer's brake is shipped fully assembled, with all adjustments preset at the factory. We'll get to some of the unique capabilities of the unit, but first, let's start by making a simple bend. We'll start with a flat piece of aluminum 4 feet wide into which we'll put a 2-inch lip at 90 degrees. First, measure in 2 inches on each end of the material and make a mark. Using one of the slip-resistant handles, raise the clamp bar and insert the material. Using the edge of the bed as a guide, line up the mark on one end of the material with the leading edge of the clamp bar. For longer material, a small clamp may be useful to hold the material in place. With one end secured, adjust the other end of the material to your mark. Apply slight pressure with the clamp bar to hold the material in place. Remember to go back and check your first setting to ensure proper alignment. When you're satisfied, tighten the clamp bar onto the material and, using one of the 3 handles, raise the bend bar to 90 degrees. Then simply lower the bend bar, release the pressure on the clamp bar, and remove the material. It's that easy. As you can see, this is a one-man brake. Working from either side, you can easily handle panels over 5 feet wide. Now let's move on to some of the unique capabilities of the Easy Bend Racer's brake. Let's make a 90-degree quarter-inch lip on a piece of material, a procedure difficult to accomplish on most non-commercial brakes. Follow the same procedures for measuring and marking your material and insert it into the brake. For bending these tight lips, be sure to use scrap material as spacers on the back edge of the clamp bar to keep it from twisting during the bending process. When you're satisfied with the alignment of the material, tighten the clamp bar onto the material and slowly lift the bend bar to 90 degrees. The unique design of the Easy Bend prevents the material from slipping, a problem with most other brakes on the market. Release the bend bar, raise the clamp bar, and remove your material, featuring a perfect quarter-inch lip. The Easy Bend Racer's brake can also produce a perfect hem on your material. Here we have a piece of material into which we have already put a 5/8-inch lip. Notice that we have gone beyond 90 degrees on the initial bend to better facilitate the hemming process. Feeding the lip of the material into the brake from one end, use the clamp bar to crimp the lip into a hem. Continue until the entire lip has been folded over. Then reinsert the material so that the entire hem is under the clamp bar and apply pressure to press it down flat. A single hem is easy, but the Easy Bend doesn't stop there. Once the single hem is complete, measure and mark your material for a 1/2 inch. Insert the hemmed edge material back into the unit and, when aligned, lower the clamp bar in place and tighten. Remember to use scrap material as spacers on the back of the clamp bar to keep it from torquing during the bending process. Using the bend bar, begin the bending process. Go slowly past 90 degrees and then release the bar slightly to check for spring back in the material. When you're satisfied with the bend, release the clamp bar and remove the material. You now have a perfect double hem. The unique design of the Easy Bend brake also allows you to make three-sided bends for dash panels or other interior pieces. First, notch your material for a three-sided bend. The brake will accommodate up to a 2-inch bend on three-sided projects. Make the first bend using the same procedure you have already seen. To make the second bend possible, the Easy Bend features a small gap at either end of the clamp bar that allows the bent edge to slide through. Make the second bend. The same procedure will also allow you to bend a third side of the material. When the final bend is complete, release the clamp bar and remove your perfect three-sided panel. Now we'll show you how to easily and quickly produce a finished piece, in this case, a 6-foot door panel. We'll take a pre-cut and pre-measured piece of material. First, using the procedures we've already demonstrated, we'll make a 3/4 inch hem on the bottom edge of the door panel. This provides extra strength and stability. When complete, we will reverse the material and put another 3/4 inch hem on the top edge of the panel. Now, using a 2-step bending process, we will curl the top edge of the door panel at just past 90 degrees to allow for easy assembly. Finally, we'll put a slight bend through the middle of the door panel to shape it properly and provide additional strength. In just a few minutes, you have created a completed door panel ready for installation. So far, we have been doing straight line bends using the sharp edge of the bending bar. But as we mentioned earlier, the bend bar is reversible. For radius bending, first remove the bolts on the heim joints connecting the clamp bar to the unit, making sure that the joint doesn't spin, changing your pressure setting. When both are removed, simply flip the clamp bar around so that the rounded edge is facing you. Reconnect the heim joint bolts and tighten. You are now ready to do some radius bending. For a 2-step 90-degree radius bend, you can leave the factory settings in place. Insert it into the brake and when it is properly aligned, lower the clamp bar. The pressure applied to the material from the back of the clamp bar or the straight edge is critical to keep the material from slipping. Using the bend bar, bend the material to an approximate 45-degree angle. When satisfied with the first bend, release the clamp bar, move the material slightly and reclamp. Again, using the bend bar, make the second bend to complete a perfect 2-step 90-degree radius bend. For a 1-step radius bend, you must make an adjustment to the clamp bar guides we discussed earlier. Simply loosen the bolts holding the clamp bar guides in place. When loosened, slide the guides to the rear as far as they will go, approximately 1/4 inch. Retighten the bolts and you are ready to bend. Again, insert your material into the brake. When satisfied with your alignment, lower the clamp bar and using the bend bar, bend the material to 90 degrees. Then release the clamp bar and remove your material, complete with a perfect 90-degree radius bend. As we mentioned earlier, the Easy Bend Racer's brake can also be used to bend other materials. Here we are using a piece of 1/16 inch plastic, a material often used in race car trim. Using the same process, we can bend and shape the plastic for the desired application. In addition to enhancing the design of the piece, the bending process actually makes the material stronger and more durable. The Easy Bend makes short work of this material. Finally, to illustrate the incredible strength and flexibility of the Easy Bend brake, we'll use a piece of Lexan, one of the thickest and most difficult materials to bend. Lexan is often used for spoilers, side windows, and other racing applications. To accommodate the thicker material, we must make some adjustments to the unit. First, the clamp bar guides must be moved into the rear position by removing the bolts, sliding the guides back, and retightening. In addition, we must loosen the pressure exerted by the clamp bar. To do that, remove the bolts on the heim joints connecting the clamp bar to the unit. Loosen the joints by turning 1.5 turns, then refasten the bolts. To provide additional strength in the center of the brake for bending heavier material, you may also need to adjust the center stress joints controlling the bed and the bend bar. When the adjustments are complete, slide the material into the brake and align. Lower the clamp bar tightly onto the material and, using the bend bar, begin the bending process. Obviously, Lexan is easier to bend when the material is warmed with a heat gun, but utilizing the unique design and flexibility built into the Easy Bend brake, it can be bent cold. It is important that you take note of the adjustments you make to the unit for various applications so that you can return it easily to the standard factory settings.